Well, good afternoon everyone and welcome to the shop. Today we're going to work on a little weed whacker. I believe it's a Craftsman. It's a fairly old one. A friend of mine lent it out and they broke the trigger off of it, and he tried to use it a couple times with the broken trigger, and he says it's just too rough on his hands, so he put it in his shed, and he says it's been about 10 years since this was running. But I went online and I found a trigger for it. Takes a trigger for a Husqvarna. So you know these Sears and Craftsmans are always built by somebody else. And but I got the trigger, and then I went ahead and ordered a carburetor kit because I figured the carburetor is going to be all messed up, and the fuel lines are probably all hard on them. So we'll go ahead and put a new set of fuel lines on. So I'll spin you around and we'll take a look at this. Alright, this is it. And you can see right here it's got that broken trigger. So we'll go ahead and replace that. Doesn't have any fuel lines on it. So the fuel lines have all gone hard. The primer ball is rock hard. You can't even push it. So that'll be something that we need to look at. And I think I pulled the air filter out of it already. And it doesn't look bad. It's not crumbling. So that's always good. So let's the trigger is moving okay, but it needs another trigger. And here's the trigger I got for it. Right there. And we'll go ahead and put that on. So let's see what it's going to take for this. Let me I think if I bring you over here on the side, it'll be a little better. Okay, there we go. I think you can see that a little better. I use a T25. It looks like it's an Allen, but a T25 fits it. I sure have been getting a lot of old machines. People there, that furnace kicked off. We're the what day is it today? It looks like March 20th. Got a good day. We've got a good thaw going on. I think it said, well, I got it right here, 46 degrees. So I think I was 14 this morning Fahrenheit when I got up. So it's warming up nice. Getting a good melt. We still got probably good 10 inches out there, but it's sure got spring in the air. Traffic zooming by, you can probably hear that in the background. Yeah, it looks like the long bolts go in the back, a little longer than these here. Short ones in front. Try to do this so it doesn't all fall apart, and we can just snap it all back together. There's that. You can just lift that out of there. Be careful not to let that fall. Grab our new one, and it's the same. So we'll just take the cable and hook that in there like that. Yep, finally got warm enough I could drain the water out of my air compressor. That's what's got my handle filthy dirty. There we go. Not too big a deal. The wires didn't get pinched. The last one here. I don't know if you can see right down in there. It's stiff, but it's moving. That's all there is to changing the trigger. Undo 4 bolts. Alright, now let's go ahead and pull this carburetor off of here. We'll get that air cleaner, air box off of there. Take the same thing, a T25. Lifts off of there, and undo the throttle cable right here. Just a little Z-band thing kind of pulls out, and there you go. And this is a Zema W19. So I look on there, Zema. It's a, if you look right down but under this throttle, right above the valves, there's a number there. This is a C1U, it looks like. Yes, C1U. So that's a casting number on there, and then it's stamped over here. So there's right there over the adjustment needles, C1Q, and then on the back side right there it says W1982A. And so I'll go on the Zema website and look that up and get a repair kit. Alright, let's see if we can do this. I just do this off an iPad here in the shop. So this is the Zema website. It's zemacorp.com. ZAMACORP.com. And this is what it does. It comes up. And then here in the gray band, you go to support. You go parts and service. Carburetor lookup, and then it brings up your deal, and these are the casting numbers it's asking for first, and we want C1U. I don't know how good you can see this, but C1U is right there. Okay, and then you go to the stamp number, which is W19 C1U, and you track down. There's a lot of these. They're in alphabetical order. W, W16, W17, W18, CU, W18, and we want CW19. All right, it's not giving it to us there. So I'm going to go up here to, let's see, let me back up. Carburetor search number. So we want C1U dash W 19 see what that'll give us. There it is, CW19. Sometimes it doesn't give them a list. So now we look right here, the rebuild kit for C1UW19 is, the rebuild kit is a RB-117, and the gasket and diaphragm kit is GND 64. All right, that's how you look the number up, and then it gives you all the different stuffs. Gives you a little breakdown. So it has the primer ball, and you can kind of look, and that's got the same plate, same choke arm. So that's it. All right. Now we'll go over here to the parts box and see what, I don't think I had this. So when I got this in, I went ahead and ordered it up. So let me get you spun around over here and we'll take a look at this carburetor kit. All right, this is a RB 117 kit. Got a new metering diaphragm with a short post and a gasket, a intake or a fuel pump diaphragm and a gasket, long needle valve arm, needle arm pivot pin, a new spring for the needle, a screen, inlet screen. I've got two other gaskets here, or gasket and another diaphragm. I'm not sure what those go to. We might not need it for this carburetor. New primer ball or purge bulb, and a little Welch plug that I don't think we'll use. So we'll go ahead and tear this carburetor down and see if all these parts match what's here. So let me go ahead. I'm going to clean this off a little bit so it's a little nicer to work on. I shall be right back. All right. We'll go ahead and take the ball off first. Purge bulb. This also removes the fuel pump. Try to stay out of your way here. Okay, there's the main carburetor. We'll set that off. Over here out of the way. Okay, this is the fuel pump right there. So that's our fuel pump diaphragm. Oh man, the gaskets are... And there's that. So we'll compare our new gasket here to the old one. Okay, that's identical. And that's good. So those two gaskets are fine. Then on the other side here is this other gasket. So we'll need that. That looks right. And it should have a... So there's a diaphragm. And the gasket. And the gasket goes on this side. This is the pump side. And this is the bulb side, or whatever you want to call it. The primer side. So we'll pull that off. Pull the primer off. And it was red at one time. You can kind of see the red down there now. So that's okay. We'll get the sonic cleaner heating up. Alright. This is the... So our gasket kit so far is right on the money. Our rebuild kit. So those will be going in the wash. Okay, under here should be the metering diaphragm. Four little screws. Reach in front of you there. Okay, I didn't get that base gasket, so we'll make sure we use that again. Okay, here's the metering diaphragm. And it's rock hard, and it's got the two upper holes. That's what our new one has, and it's got the short pin right here, so that's right. Needle isn't stuck. I like to use these pig mats because things don't skitter off of the... So we got the spring, the long needle, the arm, and the pin. So we have all that new. So I'll set this over in the junk pile. And then under here on the pump side, there's this little gasket here. I'll find something I can fish that out with. Here I got a pick. And that just pries out. We got a new screen. That's the screen. There's my finger. So we'll get rid of that. piece of fuel line there. It's stuck on there. Okay, let's see what we got here for the jets. This is the low jet. I got a little mark on my wrench here so I can see. This is the splined tool. It fits right on there. So we go, here's half, 1, 1 1/2, just shy of 1 3/4. So we just put low is 1 3/4 minus. Okay, and the high, so we'll take this low out. And the high, get my mark back here. So there's 1, just a little over 1 1/2. So it's 1 1/2 plus. Okay. And then we'll compare the jets. And I don't know if I can zoom in on that good enough to let you see them or not. And put them out here in the middle. Right there. Turn them this way. Little Erico says enhance. Okay, and if you look at the needles, this back one right here is the low, and it's the longest. And 90% of the time, the long jet will be the low side. Sometimes they're identical and it doesn't matter, but usually the long jet, either it'll have a longer screw or a longer shaft or something on it'll be longer. So that's how I always tell. Okay. So now we'll wait for the sonic cleaner to heat up, and we'll put those in the bath. And I usually run them about 45 minutes. This one, where it is so rock hard, I will probably do 2 cycles of it. So we'll put that in and then get back when it's done. Alright, while that sonic cleaner's heating up, we'll go ahead and take this gas tank off so we can put new fuel lines on it. You might hear that sonic cleaner grumbling in the background. So I'm going to check these intake bolts. Make sure they're good and tight. Okay. And then to take the tank off, there's 2 bolts right down here. They're 25 T's, T25s. Seems like I just did a Ryobi, maybe? Here the other day that was the exact same setup. It might have been a Craftsman. Now that I think about it, it was red. Yeah, it was a red Craftsman. Okay, that's all there is to it. And you can hear the filter banging around inside there. There's the filter. It looks like the rest of the fuel line. And it looks like the retainer for the cap is broke off. Let's see if we can snag that. It's all broke up. So it probably had ethanol fuel in it. Got a O-ring on the fuel cap here. That shoved down in the cap so we don't lose it. There we go. Yeah, this plastic is just brittle. So if you look right here, we've got two different size fuel lines. So let's see, I think that one is the, okay, I think the small one is this 5/64 by 9/64, or 2 millimeter by 3.5 millimeters. And that's the small one. Okay. And then the bigger one, let's see how big this hole is. Bump this up to fractions. (9/64). And that works out to be 3.6 millimeters. So we want it bigger than that. This is the true blue. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so this is 2.5 millimeter by 4 millimeter, or 3/32 by 5/32. And that will be the long one. I think that's got to come up a little bit. So we'll just cut off a foot. Okay, and that's that one. This other one, when we get it all in there, it doesn't going to take very much. Because it doesn't go down in there very far. Got to get enough to pull it around. So 4 inches or so? Yeah, we'll call it 4 inches. All right. there's those. And we'll go ahead and clean up this fuel tank and come back and put those lines in. Alright, let's go ahead and put this fuel line in. I got the tank all cleaned up, and I had to change to this yellow line because I was out of the right size filter, so I have to use this aftermarket filter. So what I do to put these on is I have a little tiny wire, I don't know if you can see that, and I put a hook on the end. Right there, little tiny hook. And what I do is I poke that through, put a little curve on it so it comes up through the neck. I feed that wire right on around. And then on the one end I cut a taper and I poke a hole in the very end like that. Feed that through the hook, kind of mash it down, and then I put just a little bit of WD-40 on the tube and on the hole, just to give it a little bit of lube. And I feed that down in there. A piece of fuel line there. Thought I had that tank all blowed out. And I feed that down in. And I pull it up. And then it sticks through. Then I grab it with a pair of needle nose. Unhook my wire. And then I pull it on up through. I usually don't have this long a piece. I use like a 12-inch piece. Stick that in there. Pull it up until that's laying in there good. You can kind of look through and see it dangling around in there. And then I'll need about, oh, that much so sticking up to go to the carburetor. So that's just like that. And the other line, it only has to stick through a little bit. So I cut a taper on it. Like so. And I try to put a little WD on it, on the hole. And I just shove that in past the taper. Just like that. Okay. All right. We're waiting for this to finish cooking. So we'll turn this back on and wait for it to get done. Okay, we got this all cleaned up. Run it through the sonic cleaner a couple times. And we'll go ahead and get this put back together now. So first off, I'm going to put the needle valve and stuff together. So we got a new needle valve. And we got a spring. Let's see here, I gotta prop this up on something. There we go. Put the spring in. Try to keep my hands out of the way. So there's the spring. Then we'll need the screw. We'll set it up on a screwdriver there. Need the arm and the pin. Get that set up. And the key. There you go. It's all together. And then we'll set that down over the spring. Tighten that down. Okay. We'll get out our adjusting tool, and we wanted C1Q. It's listed right there, so it's the flat one. And we'll check our deal. It's way low. So we'll adjust that up a little more. So I did is just kind of check that right along there. Got that so it's flush. And then we'll put on our gasket first. Then our diaphragm. Then the disc here goes down like that. Everything lined up. And then this plate. So that goes on like that. Little tiny screws. These I'll start it by hand first. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to put the screen in. Set it over the hole. Slide it in, just like that. There's that. That's the fuel pump diaphragm. Put the choke on all the way. That puts the moves the throttle just enough so you can get this on without it bumping up against the idle screw right there. So we'll set that on there. Got little alignment pins. It's got a probably easier to put the alignment pins on this side. There we go. Then it's the gasket. Figure out how this goes on. There we go. There. Like that. Single hole. Okay, there's that. Got that just backwards. Diaphragm first, then the gasket, like that. And then that fits on top of here, like that. Then our bulb. That fits on there like that. Okay. Get our pins here. And here's our tool. And we'll go low, which is the long one. And it's got an L right there. So slide that in. And the low is 1 3/4. Okay, so there's 1 1/4, half, not quite 3/4. And the high is 1 1/2 plus. So there's 1, and there's 1 1/2 plus a little. Okay. Get a little gas here. I'm just checking to see which one of these is the inlet. And well, that's not working very well. Well, let's see, we'll take that apart. Make sure we don't have something, one of them gaskets in there, or diaphragms in there backwards or something. Alright, it sounds like it's pumping. And I got a little fuel through it, so. Alright, let's go put this on the machine. Alright, let's see what we got here now. Got the cover. I got the screws. Let's see, I need the T25. So, that screws in. Let's see here. I believe that goes on like that. Choke lever on this side. I got two enhanced here. There we go. Choke lever on this side. Then we'll get the gasket in. gaskets in. Oh, we got to hook up the throttle on the side. All right, I'm back. My memory card had got full and the battery went dead, so it's the next day. And when I looked at the video, I think we were just installing the carburetor. So I've gone ahead and screwed it down. I got the air filter in there, so we got that. I'm hooking up the fuel lines. Okay, so that's all hooked up. So now if the primer will work, okay, it's pumping fuel. Now let's see if it'll run. Let's see, we're on start, so full choke. The switch is on. So let's see if it'll take off. All right, I had to richen up the low jet a little and lean out the high jet. So now we'll go ahead and see if it'll start again on its own. We'll try it without a choke. We'll just pull the trigger. All right, that sounds like a good one. So yesterday, while I was waiting for the Sonic cleaner to get done, the owner for this actually stopped by. and he said it was 10 years that it sat in his shed, and so we brought it back, and it's a Craftsman semi-pull, built with semi-pull. Let's see if we got some kind of model or anything on it. No, I just got the Craftsman model number. Little 25cc. So yeah, it's a dandy. Alrighty. Alright, well, that was kind of an easy one. Took a little while to run the sonic cleaner. I actually ran it 3 times, and it still didn't free up that the purge check valve, and so I had to put my vacuum tester on the output, put a vacuum on it, and then I have a little pump can for gas. I put that on the inlet side, and so I could pressure it one way and vacuum it the other, and I finally got it to break free. But it seems to be doing okay now. Started real easy. So if you like these videos, give me a thumbs up, and hit that subscribe, ding the bell, and we will catch you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye.